Logan, will you look at the standings at all this week, big picture, see where you guys are compared to the rest of the NFC, that 7th seed, and does it help last year that you started off poorly, only had 5-6 wins, and you were in it to the end, so you know every game matters?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking at the standings at all. There's no way, way too early to tell, but, some upsets throughout the week, man. I mean, throughout this week, which we saw, and that's the beauty of the NFL. You got to line it up every Sunday, and you never know. You're chasing improvement, and I think we've been improving these last couple of weeks. We've got to continue that trend.
How do you feel about where the defense is at as you head into this halfway point now?
I feel pretty good. I think the areas that I've talked about before was red area, third down, keeping those points down, 2 minute. I think those are areas of emphasis and areas we improved on. I mean, I still think we can improve our tackling. We've been getting more turnovers, which is always the goal of defense, is get them off the field, make them kick field goals if they're in that position, and get the ball. And we've been doing a better job of that, and we got to continue to do that. And speaking of Derek Carr a lot and Mariota, who I'm close friends with, they had trouble with our disguise, so I think that's getting better, and that just takes time to work on that. And we saw that kind of happen last year as the season progressed, and it just takes reps with the unit to work on disguise to make it better and make it harder on these really good quarterbacks. And we've had a stretch of a bunch from them lately.
Can you talk about the offensive guys getting healthy again? I mean, as a defender, when you look at what you guys have put out on offense, I mean, would it be nice to see everybody back?
I mean, ideally, when you have your roster, you want to have everybody healthy. That's how it's constructed. But you also need depth. I mean, it's football. It's 100% injury rate. A lot of guys are banged up. A lot of guys aren't playing completely healthy. And some guys can't play. Some guys are getting healthier, getting closer. So ideally, you want your playmakers on the field. That'll give us the best chance to win when your star players are on the field, and that's what they get paid to do. So that'll give us a better chance to win without a doubt. But I just think you got to give credit to DJ and the guys been out there honing it down and finding different ways to compete, different ways to win, like we've had the last couple of weeks. And defensively, understanding, with some of our guys down on offense, that we need to step up and win the games and step up and control the tempo of the games. And I think we took that upon ourselves in the darkest times to each step up and play a lot better, and I think we've done that.
So you guys, we all saw what Xavier did in that game. I mean, it's obvious to everyone. When you watch the film and you look at the totality of his season and I guess his career so far, how high is this kid's ceiling, and what do you think about his long-term potential?
I'm not here to talk about ceiling. I mean, it's through the roof. I mean, he's a really good player. He's a smart player. He works hard, and he's productive because he's good at finding the ball in the air. And the good thing about Xavier is he had a ton of success in college, obviously, and he came from a program that you're used to that, and he's able to come to work each and every day. It doesn't seem like he's acting any differently with the success. It seems like it's what he expects of himself and what we expect of him. And with Jabril going down, it's more opportunities for me and Zay, and I think it was our best game as a tandem last game of doing our jobs for the most part, and at the end of the game making the plays necessary for our team to win the game. And we put a lot on our shoulders back there as signal callers, as leaders. And I'm a year 9, he's in year 2. Basically, he's, game 12 of his career, and he's playing well beyond his years, and that's what we expect him to do.
Can you give us an example of how we keep hearing Patrick Graham simplified everything, and that's the same thing he did last year around the midpoint. Can you give us an idea of how things have gotten simpler, what it allows you guys to do, and why does the last 2 years has that happened in October for you guys rather than clicking in like week 3?
I don't necessarily, we talked about after games simplifying. I think Pat's as good as any coach in the league of listening to his players and listening to his coaches and not being afraid to take advice from the players. I mean, I think I'm mic'd up. I think I'm mic'd up. It might come out, but we talked about changing the defense a little bit in the fourth quarter that led to some big plays that a coach told Pat to run or a player told Pat to run, and Pat was willing to call it and willing to use that. So I think he does a great job of adjusting throughout the year and listening to his players of saying, hey, although we thought this was going to be what we practice all week, actually I think we need to run this, and he does a great job of implementing that. So I don't think we're any simpler. I think we were executing better, and I think Pat's done a great job of choosing the things that we do well and calling the things we do well in critical situations, like third down and red area, as opposed to trying to have the perfect defense, what they might run, kind of going back to what we do well and let them, beat us in that, and putting guys in position to make plays So I think Pat does a great job of listening.
So instead of simpler, it might be like pared down a little bit.
I think understanding, I think he has a great knowledge of who his players are and what we do best. And it might not be what you picture in the offseason. It might not be, we have this guy, we're going to run all this year. We're going to run more man-to-man this year. That was the big, talk. Like, we got a door, he's going to be man-to-man every play. And that's not the case. Understanding what's best for our team throughout the year and not being afraid to adjust and go what the guys are doing best.
What do you think of the term bend but don't break? Is that like a negative thing for a defense? Do you embrace that? Like, how do you view that?
I just think that's a cliche in football. I think that's being good in situational football, which third down the red area. I think every, defense wants to be a don't bend, don't break, but offenses are going to move the ball at times. They have good they have good players. They're going to move the ball, but at the end of the day, that drive comes to a third down, that drive comes to a red area stop or a red area play, and that dictates 3 points or 4 points, 7 points, whatever it may be. So I think you just got to be really good in critical situations.
On that fumble, did you go for the ball or did you go for Jacobs?
I went for Jacobs, man. I had a basketball coach tell me first team to the floor on loose balls normally wins. I saw him bending down to pick it up, and I figured, I figured if I cleared him out, we had a better chance again. And I try to Palomalu punch it to our goal line. I don't want to, I don't know if that's, whatever. But I try to Palomalu it, and I cleared him out, and we were able to get Leo on the floor. But there's some pictures of it, and I think you saw our guys diving to get the ball, and I think you saw some of them bending up to pick it up. And rule number 1 in basketball, you got to dive for the loose balls.